dealer.
Welcome to the Prisoner to Painter podcast, stories of inspiration, where we talk about mental health, addiction, religion, becoming a business owner and self-sufficient, for what, when, where, and why. Join us and we can be your local hope dealer.
Inspiration and dedication. I came a long way from sleeping in them pages. I got my life back, I feel amazing. Life's a book, don't get stuck on sad pages. Rainy days with no money, hard work lead to days that are sunny. Looking back, it was all needed. The problems, the pain, the trauma, the grieving. You are now tuned into the prisoner to painter. Prisoner to painter. Hard work, dedication. Rainy days, inspiration. Prisoner to painter.
And now, a word from your local hope dealer.
Just wait for it to say live. And we are live.
Perfect. Welcome to the Prisoner to Painter podcast. I'm Nathan McDermott.
And I'm Katie
And
McDermott.
today joining us is Lamar Robinson. How are you today?
I'm doing well.
It's good, man. You know, we don't know much about any guest story that comes on here, so we normally just jump right on in, and then the conversation becomes pretty fluent after the first 5 minutes.
We have been following some advice that we received. Can you, like, in a nutshell, tell us who you are and what you do?
Well, okay, so my name is Lamar Robinson. At this time, I am a residential advisor. I work for a company basically just helping clients manage their day-to-day activities, make sure there's no self-harm, checking for behaviors, handing out medications, stuff like that.
Well, one of the big things that I'm happy about, so it's Prisoner to Painter, we haven't had a lot, believe it or not, we haven't had a lot of alcoholics or anybody with that affliction on.
Right.
I see your gold chain, man. How many years do you got?
16 years.
Oh.
That's incredible.
Yes,
That is incredible.
July 1st was 16 years.
Awesome, man. Alcohol, or did you mind my asking?
It was alcohol.
Okay,
Yeah.
right on. You know, that is the only legal one that is probably the worst of them all.
Yeah.
I mean, really.
Especially with all the liquor stores that are in the community. So
Yeah.
it doesn't help.
That how it's socially acceptable, and sometimes it's more than acceptable. It's kind of like, well, why don't you drink?
Yep.
That's what everybody does in this town.
Yeah, I get asked that question a lot. Like, why don't you drink? I'm like, do you really want to know? Do you really
And from the other side, a lot of times you don't want to.
right.
Yeah, it's nice having her. Oh, why don't you drink, Katie? Like, you just stop it. You don't want to know why you
Right.
don't drink.
Yeah, I mean, and I just take the question like, do you really want to know? Like, meaning like, are you asking because you want to, you know, what I mean,
Yeah.
you want to recover, or you want to stop drinking, or are you just asking just so you can have, you know, what I'm saying, pillow talk or whatever.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Sometimes people just need a reason.
Right. Absolutely.
So, I mansplain a lot, so I'm trying not to. So I'm not going to. I say this every episode, but I probably will. How would you say childhood was for you?
Message. Oh man, childhood was an adventure, I would say. I was actually born here in Jackson, Michigan. From here, I traveled to California, Maryland, Virginia, Wisconsin, Tennessee. Like, I've been all over the place.
Do you do that as a kid or when you got older?
Childhood.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Okay. Wow. What did mom and dad do for work?
My dad, he did EKGs, so I'm not sure.
The specific nurse, like, technician field.
Yeah.
They
Yeah.
monitor
Yeah.
your
Yeah, we're talking like early 80s, so you know what I mean, like the green screen computers and all that type of stuff.
They have a fancy name for the type of, like, technician it is.
Right.
I can't remember right now.
Right. Right. And then I'm not quite sure what my mom was doing at that time when I was younger. I know I seen her work at the hospital.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, that's nice, man. So it sounds like they had decent careers, like something to look up to be.
Yeah, absolutely.
Awesome. Well, what was the family dynamic? Like brothers, sisters?
I was the only child for a long time. I want to say I'm like maybe 10 years older than my sister.
Okay.
So yeah, I was like the oldest child for a very long time.
Man, how did that sit in when you had a little one?
Man, I was happy, you know. Like I always tell my kids, like I was like, you know, my grandparents. I spent a lot of time with my grandparents as well, just in Jonesville. And like I told them, like all I had was like my dog and my bike, and you know what I mean. Like I had to find stuff to do because you know parents back in the day like go outside,
Get out.
yeah, do your chores, go outside. So.
Okay. Well, man, dude, that's awesome to me. So where did you go to school for the most part?
Once again, like I bounced around so much. Like I went to school here in Michigan, like Ipsy. I think in like my younger years. In California, there were several schools. I went to Culver City Middle School, Culver City Elementary. This is in California.
Okay.
I graduated high school in Annapolis, Maryland, Annapolis Senior High School.
Okay. Don't mind my asking, why did you bounce around a lot? Because they needed work or military type stuff, or?
No, I actually like a lot of the time that I spent was like not. I spent a lot of time with my dad and my mom, but in between those, because they weren't married, they were pretty much separated from, you know what I'm saying, from my birth. So I bounced around between them, and then, like I said, I lived with my grandparents a multitude of years, and then even with like my aunt, who is also, I call her my mom because, you know, she stepped in, adopted me, and, you know, helped me get through school. Like she had to deal with a lot of the trauma that all the moving around, you know what I'm saying, built up. And
what was your favorite cereal?
My favorite cereal? Raisin Bran.
Raisin Bran. Okay. Right.
Like that's what my grandparents, they always had Raisin Bran. So like that was.
Dude, I always relate cereal to how people grew up because Raisin Bran or like the strawberries with the flake thing.
That's
That's my grandma. So that was my favorite at my grandma's. And then my mom and dad was like Fruity Pebbles or whatever sugar I could get.
Also with my grandparents a lot. Mine was frosted mini wheats, but the strawberry frosted ones. Yeah.
Oh, and Honey Nut Cheerios. I'm sorry. Honey Nut Cheerios was definitely a pillar in my childhood. Sure.
Awesome, man. Yeah, I feel like food goes with how somebody was at. Maybe not exactly, but I feel like there's a connection there. So, favorite cartoon, if there was one?
My favorite cartoon, between anything Looney Tunes and Tom and Jerry. Grew up on like G.I. Joe, GoBots, Transformers, Thundercats, like all that adventure. You know what I mean?
Who was your favorite Thundercat?
I would say it had to be Lionel. Lionel he was the leader, you know what I mean?
That he had the coolest outfit. I'm just kidding.
Like him and Panthro, like they were both of them. I kind of related more to Panthro because I felt like he was the Black
There we go.
he was the Black Thundercat, but they didn't want to say it.
Right.
That was like watching Power Rangers as a kid. I'm like, oh no, like the white Power Rangers. Like, do not. Right. Like, even as a kid, I'm like, oh please don't.
Yeah, you know those subtle things you didn't.
Yeah.
Now you look at it like, wow.
Like, okay, got that on TV. Holy shit. Oh shit. So your whatever your affliction, I don't know what to call it, but was that prevalent in you growing up? Your alcoholism.
Was that something that you grew up around?
Yeah. Yeah.
Absolutely. Like my mom, she was addicted to alcohol and drugs. She was across addiction. She actually celebrated her. I want to get this all right. I want to say 36 years of sobriety this year. Man. I hope that's right, Mom. Please don't kill me. But
that's a big number.
Yeah. And I was there for, you know what I mean, from before. I was there for most of her addiction.
Mm-hmm.
And and that's what kind of led to me moving around as much because she wasn't stable. Mm-hmm. The times that I did live with her, things got rocky, and so I had to be moved around. But I definitely say that it played a major part in in growing up. Drugs. I used to smoke weed, and then moved to alcohol. But just growing up, like my grandparents, they would have these week-long parties, and of course there was a lot of drinking. And as a kid, you curious, so you sneak in to see what uncle's doing. You always have that uncle or aunt that'll slide you the glass.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You hit it like. You walk around doing this, playing drunk, or it might have been drunk. I'm not quite sure what at that age.
Yeah.
But yeah, it played a major part. And so once I grew up, and it just kind of it followed.
Unfortunately, I do. What do you think alcoholism is a disease?
I do, and I actually just read a quote earlier today. It was like, I want to phrase it right, but it said that basically like alcohol is not necessarily the problem, it's what lies behind it. So, and I had to, I read that before I came here, and I was like, wow, that's true, because it wasn't that I couldn't drink in moderation. It was because I was trying to drown those emotions, those feelings, that that trauma that constantly reared itself. And even with some of my friends, like, oh man, I remember you used to just throw the bottle and we would walk and then we'd go get another one. And I'm like, at that time, I think it was just my, I wanted to quit, but it was like, if I quit, I know I got to face this, and this, and I wasn't prepared to do it.
Yeah, alcoholism is it's a nasty one. I got to the point it was and I was embarrassed for a long time, but then I just started. I was pissed to bed drunk, and if you're hiding that behind closed doors, like there's a problem. Like there's a fucking problem.
Right.
It's it's just crazy to me how much we can go through. It's not a problem. That's not a problem.
Yeah.
I'm washing my sheets every night, and it's not a problem. Like
Right.
that's fucking crazy to me.
Yeah.
Do you think so alcohol was so normal in my childhood as well. Do you think how normal it was inclined you to drink more? Or do you think if it wasn't around that you still would have been down the same path? I mean, there's a lot of what ifs.
I mean, that's a good question. I think before I moved here, officially moved back to Jackson, back to Michigan in 1999. Before that, yes, I was drinking. It was social weekend type of thing, work during the week or whatever. And then once I got here, just the dynamic of how everything switched and turned around, I noticed that I started smoking cigarettes more. The people that I was around, nobody really had too much going on for themselves. So alcohol became something to do.
Yep.
So it just became just the day to day. So yeah, it became a monster, man. It became a monster.
Do you think that I know you just said this, but I think it has something to do with our personalities, and I think that's why I get along with all alcoholics. Like,
right.
I transformed from drinking every day to like obsessed with that. Now it's like I'm obsessed with like now I'm just obsessed with something else.
Right.
So and I'm trying to tone that down a little bit. But,
Right.
I just go from one to the other. Like and it's very obsessive. It seems to be.
So you're asking that if it's like a personality thing or a mindset thing, or
Well, I mean,
I'm trying to frame your question.
I mean, I think I believe it's a mindset, and then you also have to think like it's hereditary.
Yeah.
So, and that's something that my mom would always tell me, like, this hereditary, everybody used to drink and this, and so you like, whatever, I can quit anytime I want. I don't have a problem.
Yep.
And, and then the people that you're drinking with, like, oh, you don't have a problem. You know what I mean? We just drink it.
Yeah,
You're drinking and you're buying. So, you know what I'm saying? And I think that, that played a major role because I was 9 times out of 10, like I was the person that was buying alcohol.
Yeah.
So, what I'm saying, that gave me a role. Like I am the guy who takes the weed to the liquor store and trades it for alcohol, or I'm the guy who pays for the alcohol, and then we're all going to get together. And I think that had a lot to do with it too. Just even saying that, like from my grandparents and all my aunts and uncles and everybody being together, partying and having a great time, which, you know what I'm saying, as a child, that's what it looked like to me growing up and still trying to create that same, you know what I mean? That feeling.
Like you're the one sitting there. Yeah, it's powerful. It is. Like, that's what I wanted.
That's
I never achieved
it. Yeah. And then once, and even so, like my mom, she's so, I love her to death. That she was like, once you stop drinking, all these people are going to disappear. These are my friends. These are my brothers, my friends. You know what I mean? Like, and then once I stopped drinking, like phone calls, they did cease, and you know what I mean. I started seeing less and less of people, and I think for the most part, and I honestly, I get pissed off about this sometimes because it's like I get well, I don't want to be around you drinking and doing all this because I don't want to be responsible for your relapse. And I'm like, if you know me, you know there's not a damn thing you can do to make me go back and drink. So
0%.
0%. Yeah. Like I bartended. Just to be transparent, like the reason you know what I mean, I kind of had to postpone it because we were in Detroit till like 5 o'clock this morning with my friends. They were drinking. We all had a good time. But I had to make sure that we got there safely and we got back.
So
I still take aid to the
alcohol was never my problem. I enjoy a glass of wine with my dinner. Or if we go to get some food at the bar, because bar food is delicious,
right?
I don't have a drink. He was mad when he first stopped drinking because I was like, oh, I'm not going to get nothing. I don't want to like drink in front of you.
Well, like, quit changing who you are to accompany me. Like, don't change you for me. That's not how this works. Like, I changed me for you in the terms of I kept drinking, like this wouldn't work anymore. So I changed me for you.
People pouring their drink into like a solo cup so he wouldn't like know. And he's like, I know what you're drinking. Just drink it. Just drink it.
Literally, like I said, I bartended events, you know, spilled alcohol on myself. And I swear one time I spilled some alcohol and like the music stopped. Everybody's looking at me like, what am I going to do? And I'm like, cut the faucet on, wash my hands. All right, who needs what? Like, come on, man. I'm definitely I'm living in this. You know what I'm saying? In this moment, and that's what I plan on doing.
We will get to it here in the future. You know, whatever, couple minutes. But you had to have had spiritual awakening to be that set in what you're doing, correct?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I was just saying because it's like I met people that are like, oh, I'll never drink again, and then I drink again, and then once I had that like that epiphany, I'm like, I'll never drink again.
Yeah, this isn't my first go around. Like, you know what I mean? Right. This would have to be my second and longest. The first time it was, you know, I just felt like I seen where my life was going and I decided to quit drinking, and then went on a family trip and I'm like, oh, we're out of town and have a few sips, and then I wound up with like alcohol poisoning and in the bed for like 2 days straight.
Damn.
That's the whole trip.
No shit.
Came back and still was drinking. I won't do that again, but I did it again.
Yeah. So this is gonna be a longer question. Did you ever ask your mom to quit drinking when you were a child?
No.
Okay. So then okay. So how did well never mind, it kind of excludes my question. Okay, but how was it seeing your mom that was a drinker turn into not a drinker to start telling you not to drink? How did like the dynamic changing? How did that feel?
That's a good question. I never really thought about that. I can't necessarily recall a time that I've actually seen my mom. Like I've seen her smoke. Well, I haven't seen her smoke weed, but I know once her and a couple other family members were going to the bathroom. You know what I mean? Then that's what was going on. Or they disappeared because my grandparents had a lot of land, so they would disappear off into the woods and
go for a walk.
Yeah, go for a walk. Yeah, I'm like, You
And they come back and they're in a great
happiest people in the world. I'm like, maybe that's why I kept going out in the world. I wanted to find that happiness they were finding out there, but apparently it was in a bag.
Yeah.
But no, the reason that she, once she became sober and she seen the path that I was going in, she, she had a mission to, to get me to stop drinking. And it went up for years.
Mm-hmm.
And it had a lot to do with the lifestyle that we were living. We were living a very fast, illegal, lucrative lifestyle. Just put it out there. And and then that lifestyle, I'm doing music, I'm rapping, and then you see the rappers and everybody's popping bottles, having a good time, this, that, and the third. And I was trying to emulate that lifestyle with me and my friends. Mm-hmm. And one of the things that actually led to me like spiraling, hitting what I considered to be the bottom was my youngest sister passing. Yep, she 18th birthday, the night of, and she got into a car accident, her and 4 of her friends, and she was the only one that died.
Was alcohol a factor?
Yes.
I'm very sorry.
And and it was the crazy part about it, like we went to Ann Arbor to watch my second to youngest, because I have 4 sisters.
Okay.
The second to the youngest graduated. And we went down to watch her graduate, talked to my the youngest sister on the phone, because she graduated the next year, or was it the same year? But she was graduating soon. Okay. And like I said, it was her birthday. And we talked to her and wished her happy birthday and everything. And we came back to Jackson. And my phone, I remember my phone, I put my phone on vibrate because, we were at the graduation, go home, go to sleep. And I just woke up to my older sister, the one that's right underneath me, like, hey, what are you doing here? She was like, Keisha's dead.
Damn, like woke you up.
Yeah.
Oh, shit.
Yeah. And I'm like, what? She's like, come on, we got to go to the hospital and see her. I just, like I couldn't believe it because I just talked to her. Like, you don't expect anything like that. And then even the people that were there, like her friends were there and they were walking around and I'm just like, where's my sister? Where's my sister? Like, what did y'all do to her? Like, I just couldn't understand it. And then seeing her and it was just like, everything just went left. I think probably like 2 months of just every day, all day, just drinking, getting into fights, getting beat up. You know what I mean? And it just, after the last episode, I just I told a friend of mine, rest in peace, Big E. He picked me up and I just looked him in his eyes. I said, bro, I'm done. He's like, what you mean? I'm like, I'm done.
Fucking, and it was like that.
It was like that.
Yeah. I get the flip of the switch feel. It was like that.
Yeah.
How did you get over the hate for those other children?
What do you mean?
It sounded like you were very upset with them. Almost like how did you get over
The resentment.
The resentment of,
or have you not?
honestly, I guess I had to realize like it wasn't their fault. She was driving. So
oh shit. Okay.
I couldn't be mad at them.
Yeah,
it wasn't their fault. She was the one that was driving. So it was.
Gotcha. Understood. Well, I don't know. Me being when I was drinking, I would still probably found a way to hate them. Like what? I probably could have found a way.
I would resonate with hating like society as a whole because that's the culture. Whereas we've been in situations where if we did not have a friend or have a home, it probably would have ended badly.
Right.
And I'm very thankful for those people that were there. So
honestly, I think a lot of my resentment went towards God. And this is actually like my first time saying it. It was numerous times. Like I have two They were like early 2000, 2004. And at that point, I didn't feel like I was drunk. You know what I mean? Like, but like I can just recall numerous times where I shouldn't have made it to my destination, and I did. And then for that to happen, why me? And so not only God, like I resented myself a lot because I didn't use the gift that God gave me, and you know what I mean, and my purpose. And still, I'm trying to find my purpose. So like that's why going to school for psychology and substance abuse is like I have to not let her death be in vain. You know what I mean? I have to help other people. I'll give anyone the shirt off my back. I recall times we were drinking and there'd be somebody walking. I'd be like, hey, pull up. Hey, you need a ride? Sitting there looking crazy like,
what?
Hurt people, help people.
Yep. I lost it. No, I didn't. You give me a second. You said it. I lost it.
When did you have the epiphany that you wanted to like pay it forward and you didn't want that to happen?
I think honestly I kind of been like that my whole life. I think it really just started when I was younger, and I had a friend when I lived in Maryland, and I was new in town, and you know I was getting picked on. We really didn't have money like that. My mom, you know, she did what she could, and I have two brothers with my, you know what I'm saying, my other mom. She has two boys, but and this guy, like he just looked out for me. He was always nice, no matter what other people would do. He would, you know what I'm saying, he would always be there. And then once he learned that I did music, like Lamar, you know, spit a verse, don't let him talk, you know what I mean? And he would encourage me to work on my craft and rap and just stuff like that. And then we lived in this one neighborhood where we like lived in a condo, and then it was a fence and some woods, and on the other side was like the project. So I walk around the fence and, you know, go to his house, even though I wasn't permitted to go around there because, you know, they didn't want us to, you know, kind of get in that lifestyle. But it was always, we were raised in California, you know what I mean, Inglewood in the 80s, like in the crack era.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I was attending NA meetings when I was like 8 years old. You know what I mean? For my other mom.
Yeah.
Like we found that out just out of spur of the moment, like, oh yeah, your mom is on drugs. And I'm like, what do you mean? Like, so when he ended up passing, he got shot by a police officer. Yeah. And I think that was like, it fucked me up, excuse my French. You know what I mean? Like I had to go see a psychiatrist at that point. I couldn't fathom like somebody that, you know what I mean? Like that was there for me, that fight for me. Like that was my best friend, and him passing, I think that just, you know what I mean? That really just, it made me want to help people. And like you said, hurt people. So that pain that I felt, I didn't want anybody else to feel, because not only him passing, but everything else before that, you know what I mean, just came to light. So at, you know, 15, 16, like I started beating up the bullies. You bullying somebody, I'm beating your ass. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? And that became my, you know what I'm saying? That was my that was me, my motto. Like, if you fuck with this person, I don't care who they are, even if I don't know them and I know that you're capable of beating them, I'm going to beat your ass.
Because you became a rescuer. That's like one of the things. There's like different types of people want to help after they've been hurt. But there's different types of help that people turn to. Like I want to get people out of situations that they're not supposed to be in, because I've been in situations and I can't stand to watch somebody go through the same thing that I did. And I know it's hard to see from the inside, but like I aim to help people because I don't want that to happen. So if I can rescue you, I'm going to rescue you. If I can help you any other way, I'll do that. But if you need rescued, I'd be the first person to call.
And piggybacking off what you said earlier about wandering God the gift, that's not exactly what you said, though.
Right.
So God says in the Bible, I don't know the exact quotes, but pretty much God hates laziness, because God gave you a gift and you are just going to just piss it away. And that's how I felt as a drunk. God gave me a gift. Yeah, he gave me the gift of gab. I mean, just me being honest. I talk good, and me as a drunk, I did not talk good. I was an asshole. I was squandering God's gift. So I wasn't lazy, but me drinking made me what God hates, in my opinion. So not that he hates you, whatever. But yeah. And then my other thing I was just gonna say, it seems like this world gave you a lot of reasons to hate the cops, hate whatever, and you still chose help.
Yeah.
That's successful to me. Like that's why we invite on, sir. That's successful. Period.
Yeah, that's and in retrospect, like that's part of the like I said, the behavioral addiction. So like those who say that they love me know that I'll do anything in this world from you. I will protect you from this world by any means necessary. So then when you do something to me, you know what I mean, and you knowing the type of person that I am, that builds resentment, which causes me to react. And they say that there's no level to reaction, but when it costs you family and friends and this and that, you know what I mean, and opportunities, I had to reevaluate that. And that's just something that I've been working on for the last couple of months, like knowing that, yeah, you can react or you don't have to react. Sometimes not reacting is the best reaction.
So
Yeah.
we say this at work, actually. You need to learn to respond, not to react.
So I probably have a bad habit of doing this. But I say I don't see color, but I do see color because you're black, I'm white. But there's not a racist bone in my body. Like there never has been, because we're all God's creatures. Like, and I say creatures because we are all God's creatures. Period. I have a bad habit of asking black guests of how growing up with their color has been. But I'm going to ask you specifically because you said Inglewood and Cal. How was that with the white cops and
How was the racial tension
Yeah,
in the 80s in
holy
Inglewood?
shit. Well, and I know you were young, but you still
Yeah.
had to see it. Like, I mean, that's crazy.
To be totally honest, like I personally cannot recall like racism. I just felt like everybody was moving so fast, like there was no time to, you know what I mean? And then not even racism. It was gang.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Like you didn't worry about the white man with the, you know what I'm saying, and none of that. You were worried about your own color or a lighter shade with somebody with a different color bandana on.
I see. I see.
You know, like I when I moved to California, and just growing up, and I think it was in middle school, like that's when I got approached. Like a group of kids walked up to me and asked me what set I'm from. I'm from Jackson.
Yeah.
I'm from Michigan. What you talking about? No, what set you from? Cuz, and I guess they were rolling 60s, and the neighborhood that I lived in, they were neighborhood Pyru. Which means like I couldn't wear, well, I didn't say I couldn't, but my dad made sure I had like the most brightest colors there were. So I had a lot of purples and a lot of, you know what I'm saying? But and then like I said, so they asked me what set I was from, and I'm like, I didn't know what they were talking about. And one of the guys that lived on my street, he like, we neighborhood Pyru. And I'm like, yeah, that's what we are. And he's like, oh, we rolling 60. And then they all got their ass whooped on the playground because they were opposite. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's how I got into it. And then and even going from living in Inglewood, which is 4 miles away from Culver City were Culver City Crips.
Okay.
A lot of Latinos, Mexicans, and they were Crips, and they didn't like black people. And I don't know why the hell my parents decided to move out. Like, why would you send it there? You know what I'm saying? Like, and then I seen one of my friends got stabbed in the neck with a screwdriver, like, on a bridge that we had to go across every day. A guy threatened to stab my brother with a needle that we found on the ground, like, and we fought every day. Me and my brother fought every day.
I'd rather be a garden. I'd rather be a warrior in a garden than a gardener in a war. It sounds like you've seen stuff you shouldn't have had to.
Absolutely. Damn. Absolutely. Me in Inglewood, my best friend, his mom was a queen pin. They shot her.
Damn.
Like this is the place I would go every day because he had all the new video games and all the new stuff, and go out there and play with him. I never knew what his mom did. But that's not being naive, but just being a kid.
Yeah, kids should have to know what to look for in the situation.
Exactly.
That's the problem. That's a lot of the problem today. Kids know too much, and they don't have the opportunity.
Sorry, there's a little spider in it.
They don't have the opportunity to grow up and go outside and to be a kid. It's like instantly.
They know what things that it took me until 20 to find out, and they know it at 8. I'm like, how do these kids know more than me? Like, really? I'm like, you should need life experience, good or bad, to get some of the knowledge. You shouldn't be able to look at
I will say that in this day and age, it's important that I think kids know some sort of things, like what to look out for, what to like be safe from.
Yeah, but Law and Order SVU does that.
Yeah.
Okay, no victims unit does that. You don't need the internet,
But also like learning from other children, I think.
Yeah, there are things that children need to be aware of, especially the people in the family to be aware of. Like that is something. Honestly, I didn't know about molestation till I was 20.
Yeah, I get it. It took me to watch SVU to figure out that was a thing. Like literally, I learned it on Law and Order. I didn't know that was a thing.
And then even being a victim of. You know what I'm saying? I didn't know.
Right.
I thought that's what love was. It came from a person who said that they loved me, they were around me, this, that, and the third. I know that's people probably going to take it for what you want to take it for, it's Facebook or whatever the case may be. But I didn't know. Yeah. So, like I said, I just growing up, and I'm like, man, wow.
I have very few moments on this podcast that I stop. Thank you. Because it takes a lot for a man or a woman to tell any side of their story. Thank you for sharing that.
Yeah, I'm at the point in my life like I'm not about to come out the closet and I'm like that. Like, no, I'm not homosexual at all. You know what I'm saying? Like I just at the point in my life, like, man, life is short. And then it's the fact that the people that I admire, that, I love, that helped me grow to be 46 years of age, like they're gone. I have my mother, you know what I'm saying? And I love her dearly. And I have my sister, like I love her dearly. I have my brothers and I love them dearly. And like, that's what I'm holding on to. I could care less about how anybody feels about, you know what I'm saying, whatever they perceive on Facebook or what they hear in the streets or any of that, because two things are true. God loves me, and you can't beat my ass. So, and that's just real, you know what I mean? Like that's how I'm carrying my life. I'm gonna love the people who love me. I'm gonna love the people. Love thy neighbor and thy enemy. You know what I mean? I'm going to love you all. But just, if we're enemies or you feel some type of way, but just stay over there and keep your comments to yourself, because if it gets to me, I'm going to pull up on you and I'm going, hey, what's up? Let's have this one-on-one and let's talk about this. Because I know that the stuff that you use is not going to come from here.
Nope.
You're not going to have the same conversation.
Nope.
When it comes to that. So
not many people do.
And I'm not a tough guy. I just, you know what I'm saying? I go to the range.
It sounds like you've learned.
Fair enough.
It sounds like you've learned how to forgive people and like meet them where they're at, because like sounds like you don't hold on to things because people are gonna do and say what they're gonna do and say, and that's nothing against you. It's just on them. So how did you come to that?
Recently.
Okay.
Recently.
That's progress.
Yeah,
that's progress.
It came to a point where I noticed that I was feeling alone in crowded rooms, and just having two children who I love dearly, and our relationships got rocky. Still trying to protect that inner child I could relate to, where, you know what I'm saying, where they would look at me and like, hey, that was kind of harsh. And I never wanted to be that person. I never wanted to be the person to hurt them in any type of way. So, you know, as parents, we always say, like, I'm not going to be like my dad. I'm not going to be like my parents. And the more you say that, the more you actually become more like them, but just in different forms.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? My dad was abusive. And I didn't want to be abusive to my children, but sometimes, you know, you get a smack in the head or the chest or whatever. And in today's society, that's abuse.
Mhm.
80s, 90s.
Parent.
You would get your ass whooped from the beginning of the block to the end of the block. And then they get on the phone and call your extended family. They fly in and whoop you. You know?
Did you get the whistle? When you heard that whistle, you had to be there now.
The street lights, like you were at home before them street lights. Growing in California, you didn't want to be outside when the street lights came on. And you damn near really didn't want to be outside in the first place. Because you couldn't tell a backfire from a gunshot, and they were, you know what I'm saying? Like it was hectic. Yeah. It was a war zone.
I don't always want to stick. I think it's important to know where you came from to where you are now. 16 years sober. You're giving back from what I don't want to slaughter what you do for work, but I know that you help in a field that's important. So I know we'll get to that. But the first couple of years of being sober, what was that like coming back to Jackson and then getting sober?
I was disappointed. I was disappointed in the system. I went to AA for like a month, and you know, a lot of the time, the beginning, first couple of weeks or week or whatever, you know, I would listen to people's story, and I'm like, man, that's crazy. Like you went through that, like. Yeah. And this is just alcohol, and I mean, like it was some extremes, and I'm like, you did that for what?
Yeah, for a bottle.
Yeah. Like, that's crazy.
Yeah.
And then I started to open up, and people just started to look at me weird. Like it got to a point where a guy was like, yeah, you haven't hit rock bottom. You still have your family. You still have this. You still have that. You haven't hit rock bottom. I was out here. Basically, the dude said he was out here performing oral sex for alcohol, and I'm like, dog. Whoa! What was you drinking?
This is rock bottom.
But yeah. So like, and then it became, you're not here, court ordered. I'm like, no, I came here on my free will, and it was like they couldn't understand that, and so then I kind of just got upset, like. Why is my story so? I mean, of course, it's different than your story, but my alcoholism was more like it was friendly for the most part. Yeah, we would go to bars, and then, you know, you get bump into drunk people, they step on your shoes or they bump you too hard. And it was, you know, a lot of times that led to fights. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's just what it was, but it was fights. It was never no shooting or whatever's going on today. Like, we would fight it out, and then everybody go their separate ways. Probably bump into them again. Hey man, my bad. I'm sorry. You know,
I was fucked up.
Yeah. But yeah, it just and then like I said, even with friends, like kind of like moving away because they didn't want to be part of my relapse, or whatever. So yeah, the first couple of years were just kind of upset and just not people not understanding what it was that I was trying to do. Like I wanted to not necessarily make my mom happy, but you know what I mean? I wanted her to know that her love and her words of wisdom and, you know what I'm saying, didn't go in vain. My sister's death wasn't in vain. And then that even, you know what I'm saying, that leads into, you know, the behavioral addictions, the stuff I was doing while I was drunk, I was still doing sober.
What does the big book say anyways? Come to a meeting and they'll figure out if they're drunk. It's you that says I'm drunk or I'm not drunk. It ain't the fucking other 20 people in the room.
Right.
It just matters if I say I'm an alcoholic.
I also appreciate that you realized that you were addicted to behaviors. A lot of people don't see that part. Like it's like the high risk, right? High risk behaviors.
Right.
You're doing stuff that gives you that feeling. And you're addicted to that feeling. So I know for some people, it's not necessarily substance; it's everything that comes with the substance.
Right.
Because
you're still chasing that high.
Well, that was my problem. Like
right.
I have my fair share, but it was never I needed more. It was I needed more of the people who introduced me to those things. And I was trying to be with those people and do the things that they were doing because I thought they were cool, and then it wasn't fun anymore.
Right.
Well, I hope that we have done good by your story. Is there anything that you would like to share that we might have missed from childhood or the first couple of years of sobriety before we move on a little bit?
Yeah, the DARE program was bullshit.
Yeah.
Like total bullshit. Yeah, that was pretty much it.
I just don't want to ask certain questions because I think it's somebody's story. I don't want to put your story as I was an alcoholic and then I got sober. Like if there's something else in your story that is pertinent or that I might have missed, like I never want to portray you in a light that's not your light. So that's why I asked that.
Yeah, I think just through the whole journey, even what I'm saying, from day one to now to 16 years and so many days and hours and minutes, like I've learned to love myself, and I think that's the most important thing. Love God, love yourself, because the once you start to love yourself, you start to heal. Once you find God, you start to heal. Substance, whether it's alcohol, drugs, whatever the case, pornography, whatever it is, those things that you try to use as band-aids, they tend to come off.
Mm-hmm.
And you're still left with a wound, you're still left with a scar. And so I advocate for people to, work on mental health, physical. I started walking, doing this thing called Let's Walk on Facebook. And it's not for the world, it's for me. It's just to document myself, and hold myself accountable and be consistent in, in something positive. So, just work on yourself and disregard what the world has to say, because at the end of the day, they're trying to blow this world up as we speak. They're finding different reasons to put everybody in poverty and jail and this and that. And the greater goal is to reach heaven, to, and be next to our Father. So just focus on that.
You said you were in the robotics before you did your job now. Did you go to college, or how did you land into that career?
So I was doing a lot of jumping from job to job. Like I was saying, we were outside. I have an issue with being in one place. I know they want to call it ADHD, but I'm just like, okay, this is boring. You find me something else to do, but I actually went into a program through the company, and they sent us to school, and it was like a 3-month program where we had to learn algebra 2, trigonometry, calculus, and
fucking 3 months?
Read blueprint. Yeah.
Son of a bitch.
Right. And just anybody that was in that class, I commend you, because we did that.
Awesome.
There were you had different levels of people. You had the nerd to the guy who just got out of prison. And collectively, we went through that class, and everybody passed, and we all got the job. And I don't know if they really, look back on it man, we really.
Cool.
Yeah. So, but
Did you learn coding?
not necessarily. Well, coding in the sense of learning how to the Y and X axis.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like a CNC, kind of how CNCs operate on them. Okay.
Mm-hmm. We learned CNC. I want to call it not beveling, but milling.
Yep.
We learned how to mill. We learned so much in this class, and then like I said, just moving forward, just in that company. And hopefully get back there.
I was just curious what the robot ran on, if they ran on Java or I don't know the newer ones. I'm an old school know HTML and Java. I don't know anything else.
The robot, I can't remember what exact program it is, but they it depends on, I guess it kind of depends on the company and what programming that they use.
Okay. Well, that's super cool.
Yeah.
You have to have a particular mindset to be able to comprehend those things, I feel. So that's really cool.
That's one thing I guess, because I'm I don't want to keep saying I'm getting older. I just feel like I'm getting wiser, and I want to obtain more knowledge. So, that's why I'm going back to school for, psychology. I just took an energy efficiency program just out of the blue. It just landed in my in my inbox. I'm like, oh, this sounds cool. Yeah, I would have liked the job in the field, but I'm like, I'm happier to acquire. I've got like 5 certificates. I'm happy to, you know what I'm saying, to get that knowledge. So it's like that's the one thing that nobody can take away from.
Not a single person.
So how old do you feel?
How old do I feel?
Mm-hmm.
Honestly, I don't feel like I could put a number on it. I feel like I'm gonna say 16.
Like high schooling.
Yeah,
Like,
because
kinda?
this I didn't
I
really,
see what you're saying.
you
Yeah.
know what I mean? So I honestly feel like I'm learning how to live. I'm learning what life is actually about ever since, with the ups and the downs, the mistakes, the happiness, the joy, everything. I feel like I'm 16.
Did you ever have a sponsor? And if you can talk on that.
Yeah, my mom was my sponsor.
Awesome.
Yeah, she was definitely my sponsor. She's been detrimental to my life. We bump heads a lot. You know what I mean? She's mom, and I'm like, look, we have to change our mindsets. She had a life of her own, a childhood of her own that she had to grow up and come through, and then not being guided or corrected. And so we constantly learn and we talk to each other about things. And like I said, sometimes we bump heads, but for the most part, we always come back like, look, I'm sorry if I said something wrong, and she apologizes, and that's growth. We this even on her side of the family, and what I kind of noticed is even when people, and I think people see this too, like we were always huggers.
Mm-hmm.
And I never really understood that. I thought everybody hugged. I thought when you greeted somebody, you hugged them.
Yep.
I thought when you left, you hugged them and told them you love them. And then you get in these situations, you're like, I literally had to tell a person that lives in the residence with my mom. He was dropping his mom off and she was walking off, and I walked up. I said, hey, you better go hug your mom. He, whoa, come here. What don't you?
Man, I think some people, and okay, I'll say me, because not even some people. I would find myself just thinking about myself, not like selfishly, but almost like main character syndrome. Like I forget that I have a wife, that she grew up her own way. She has all this going on. My mom has her own childhood, and that's maybe why me and her butt heads. My dad, it's like I know I'm not the main character, but sometimes I forget she has an origin story. You have an origin story. It's.
But you are the main character in your story, to be totally honest. And I think that's where we kind of lose perspective. Like, you have to understand you are the main character in your story, not to disregard her. But once you do get married, then now you are one. So now you two are the main character. And so you have to know how to navigate that. I had that same issue too. Like I said, I was doing music and this and that, and I'm like, I'm doing. And then even with my wife, like, she got into it, so her role was like, it had to be in a book, you know what I'm saying, school and this, and she had her own way of life, and you know what I mean, it clashed.
It's literally marriage. It marries together.
Yeah, you know what I mean. And you have to, like I said, you just have to learn how to navigate that.
I don't want to miss anything. We got about 10 minutes, 15 minutes. So you're married with kids?
Yeah.
Oh, awesome. Well, how old are the kids, and how did you guys meet?
My daughter is 21. She'll be 22 in August. My son just turned 20 this year.
Awesome.
Yeah, we met in the liquor store parking
Oh my God! Yeah, close enough. We
Yeah. Right. Yep, we were in the liquor store parking lot. But she hated my guts.
Yep. How long have you guys been married? This might get him in trouble.
Yeah, 15 years.
Congrats, man.
Congratulations.
We just celebrated 5. So
Congratulations.
No, that's awesome, man. So married for 50. Shit. Your kids, her kids, both.
Is it a blended family?
Yeah.
Both mine. hard.
Awesome. I heard the thing. So I just did the math. I apologize. It's not that I'm nosy. I just like knowing.
He's nosy, don't let him win.
Yeah, we've been together 23.
Oh, so you guys waited a minute
Oh,
to get married.
I forget people date before. Seriously, I'm not making a joke. I forget people date before they get married. Me or
Met and got married a month later.
yeah, dude. So I heard 15 years married. I'm like, oh, so it's probably his kids. I forget people date for like.
Yeah.
Like,
we dated, lived together for a very long time, and it was all about growth. And just when I first time I seen her, I told my brother, I'm like, yo, I'm gonna marry her. He's like, whatever. And then you know what I'm saying, we went through a lot. And, you know what I mean? Like I said, just learning to you know what I mean, come together, and it was just like we kind of both had our own separate things going on, and it, you know what I mean, it caused a lot of problems. And then, like I was saying, just about, you know what I'm saying, about healing. And not, unfortunately, in the Black community, like we don't value help. We don't seek therapy or counseling. You go to your grandmother or your mother or your you know what I'm saying, your elder, and try to get the knowledge from them to how, you know, life is supposed to go. But if there's only a married couple on one side and there's not on the other, then you tend to clash.
You value the experience that other people have went through the same things. You don't want to go learn from somebody who just got a degree in the things that you're struggling with.
Right.
That's very valid. A lot of people feel that way.
Right. Absolutely.
what made you want to get into the career you're into now?
I think it just goes back to wanting to help people, man. Like I've always helped people. I've always been like a conduit to, you know, whether it's street stuff or you want to open a business or you need resources to, you know, help you move forward. Like I've always had that dynamic where I can talk to this person and help this person, no matter what side of the track that you want. So, you know what I mean?
So before we ask our wrap-up questions, A, I want to thank you for coming on.
Absolutely.
B, I want to thank you for sharing your story, because a lot of people, and it's never discrediting anybody, but it takes a lot of credit to come in front of a camera and tell your story. Like eventually you quit realizing it's there, but it's still difficult to talk to somebody you don't know and say some of the stuff you've said. So thank you.
Absolutely.
It's also it leaves you very vulnerable. So we appreciate when people can come and be their authentic self.
Yeah, I think that's what we need to work on. You know what I mean? We need to be vulnerable in certain situations and learn how to appreciate people for who they are and deal with them on whatever basis it is. I'm not here to be judged or to judge.
There's one person for that.
Absolutely.
There's one. Well, not person, but whatever, entity, whatever the fuck you want to call it.
Right.
Yeah. Whatever. Well, it literally, yeah. I mean, that's what we call them around here. But what is before asking a random question, what is your favorite memory, period, of your whole life?
Favorite memory? It was Earth Day. We were in California. My father decided to take us up to the San Bernardino Mountains.
Okay.
We're talking 2,100 feet up in the air. We get 3/4 of the way up there and we run out of gas.
Oh, shit.
So we literally coasted down 2,100,000 miles down the side of a mountain where you can look down and you're like, oh shit, if anything goes wrong, no gas. We coasted all the way back down to the bottom, got gas, and we went back up.
The grade was
That's cool.
Crazy.
crazy.
Super crazy.
like
2-lane mountain here, by down there. Yeah, and then once we got up there, we went to was it Big Bear Lake, I believe it's called.
Okay.
The air was
Immaculate.
like nothing that you ever smelled a day in your life. You see the smog covering LA, and then you get up there, there's blue skies, the water was beautiful hues of blue, like oh my, it was the best day of my life.
I lived in Colorado for a minute, and up in the mountains it's like a different place.
Right.
It's
so cool.
It's like a totally different place. The air's, you're right, the air.
Yeah.
And then it's like seeing them in the background wherever you're at, it's like they're not real.
Yep.
Yeah.
Man, that is super fucking cool. Man, thank you for coming. I know I'm gonna keep saying it, but really, it does mean a lot. It does.
Appreciate
And then to get everybody like, I'm trying to draw people together. We're trying to draw people together. And then if we're not doing anything else here, maybe in 100 years, your grandkids that never got your great grandkids and never got to know you, maybe they can find this on YouTube.
Yeah.
And that was the other thing that we kind of figured out. It's like things get lost in the sands of time, and I'm not going to let us. So, and then when I say us, I mean me and her, and then whoever's sitting across from us. You know, 100 years, hopefully we're, I don't know, maybe talk about history books, I don't know, or we're just in a fucking fire and everything's getting burned. I don't know.
Plant those seeds. You gotta plant the seeds. You know, we're not. We may not see the tree grow, but you know, at least you did your work.
Yeah, exactly. God's calling. At least God's calling for me. Like you said, don't squander your gift.
What do you say about the fruits of his labor? Something about the fruits of your labor, sowing which reap. I don't know.
Yeah.
I hear it. I can't.
Yeah. Well, so my wrap-up questions are: is there anything that I didn't ask that I should?
I can't think of it.
Perfect. That just means we did our job. That's why I asked that. What's your definition of success?
Success is what you. I feel like it's what you make it. Whatever your goal is, what you set out to become. Long as it's long as it helps others.
Yeah.
Will you ask my younger question?
Yeah. If you right now met your younger self, would you get along with him, and would he get along with you? So vice versa.
No.
No. But
Either way. Either way. Which would you be fighting?
Yeah.
So my other wrap-up question is it has to be one word. If you could use one word to describe where you started, where you are now, to where you think you might end up, what would that one word be?
I would put it in letters, which would actually be more words, but it would be Tigo. And that's really, it stands for thank God for the outcome. And that's been my motto for the last 10, 15, 16 years.
Okay.
Thank God for the outcome.
Beautiful. This week, every week we get out a gift card. I did not know what you ate, what you didn't eat. I know you're from Jackson, so it's not a gas card. If you're local, you don't get a gas card. You get a gift card. If you drive, you get a
And we
gas
try
card.
to stay local, but there's only so many businesses in Jackson.
Yeah, dude, I hit every restaurant, every place. I'm like, okay, I got to start. I don't know. Maybe I'm gonna do another lap around and get. But this week, Jimmy John's mission is to deliver simple, high-quality sandwiches with speed and efficiency. Their focus is on fresh ingredients, free fast service, and a straightforward approach to both food and operations. And it doesn't say this, but they started toasting their subs, and it's a game changer. Like I'm like, Subway's been doing this for years, Jimmy John. Like, why the hell haven't you done it? And it's $20 on there. So.
Oh, I appreciate it.
Yep, of course.
All right. Well, thank you guys
Yeah,
for
and thank you
watching.
for coming on.
Thank you
I
very
appreciate
much.
you. Thank you.
And then when the camera cuts off, would you mind signing our table?
Sure.
Awesome.
All right. Thank you guys.